Hello, and welcome to the Fluent English Journey channel. This is the place where we learn English in a simple, useful, and real way. I'm very happy that you are here with me today. If you are someone who wants to improve your speaking and listening in English, then you are in the right place. Because today's episode is about something very important. Stop studying, start speaking. Many English learners, especially people at the intermediate level, the B1 level, have the same problem. Maybe this sounds like you. You understand English when you read or listen. You watch videos, read books, or do grammar exercises. But when it's time to speak, suddenly you feel nervous, confused, or even silent. Does that happen to you? If yes, don't worry. You are not the only one. Many students around the world feel the same. They spend a lot of time learning grammar, vocabulary, and doing exercises, but when they try to talk, they don't feel confident. And the reason is simple. They study too much, but they don't speak enough. This episode is made for you if you are a B1 English learner who wants to stop only studying and finally start using English in real life. Because speaking is not something you do only after you finish studying. Speaking is actually one of the best ways to learn. In this episode, I will explain why traditional studying is not enough, why speaking is the real key to fluency, how you can start speaking today, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country, and I will give you some simple, easy tips you can use every day. This episode will be very easy to understand. It will also be full of practical ideas you can use right now. So sit back, relax, and listen carefully. If you want, you can also repeat some of the sentences after me to practice speaking. Let's begin this journey together. It's time to stop studying and start speaking. The problem with traditional studying. Now, let's talk about how most people learn English and why this way doesn't always work. When people start learning English, they usually follow the traditional method. Maybe you did this too. You buy a grammar book. You start learning all the tenses, present simple, past perfect, future continuous. You try to remember the rules and use them correctly. Then you start writing long vocabulary lists. You write 20 or 30 new words every day. You also read English books, watch movies with subtitles, or listen to English songs. Now, all of these activities are good. They're useful. But here is the problem. Most students only study English. They don't use English. They don't speak. They don't try to have conversations. They wait until they feel ready. But the truth is, that feeling of I am ready may never come. Many learners ask, but I study so much. I know many words. Why can't I speak? This is one of the most common problems. So many learners say, I can understand English, but I can't speak it. And it's true. Maybe you understand movies. Maybe you understand your English teacher. Maybe you can read articles or books. But when you try to speak, your mind goes blank. You forget words. You feel shy. You are afraid of making mistakes. You don't know how to say what you want. And this is not your fault. This happens because traditional studying is only half of the journey. Think about it like this. Imagine you want to learn how to swim. You watch videos about swimming. Imagine this. You want to learn how to swim. So, you read books about swimming. You study how to move your arms and legs. You even learn the names of all the swimming styles, freestyle, backstroke, butterfly. But you never actually get into the water. Will you become a good swimmer? Of course not, right? The same thing happens with English. You can study grammar rules. You can memorize new vocabulary. You can read and listen all day. But if you never use the language, you will not become a confident speaker. English is not like math or history, where you only study facts. English is a living language. It's something we use to connect with people, express ourselves, share ideas and feelings. And the best way to learn a language is by using it, especially by speaking it. The mistake many learners make. Many students believe they need to be perfect before they speak. They think, First, I need to study more. I need to learn all the tenses. I need 1,000 more words. Then I will start speaking. But this idea is dangerous. It actually stops your progress. The truth is, backhand index pointing right, you become good at speaking by speaking, not by waiting until you are perfect. Think about how babies learn. How do babies learn to talk? Do they study grammar books? Do they write long vocabulary lists? No. They listen. They copy what they hear. They try to speak. They make many mistakes. But slowly, step by step, they improve. This is how our brain is designed to learn languages. By doing, not just by studying. The problem with traditional classes. In many schools, English classes focus more on writing and grammar tests. Maybe you even got good grades because you could write well. But when you meet a native speaker, or when you try to use English in real life, suddenly you feel lost. This shows something very important. Backhand index pointing right, knowing English, and using English are two very different things. So if you are spending all your time only on grammar and vocabulary, but you still cannot speak, it doesn't mean you are not smart. It doesn't mean you are not working hard. It only means this. You are not practicing the skill you really want to improve, speaking. The main message. Studying is useful. Grammar and vocabulary are helpful. But only speaking can make you a real speaker. If your goal is to speak English fluently and confidently, you need to practice speaking every single day, even just a few minutes. Don't wait. Don't be afraid. Start small. Start today. Why speaking is the key. Now, let's talk about one of the most important parts of learning any language, speaking. Speaking is not just another skill. It is the heart of language learning. If your goal is to speak English well, then speaking must be your main activity. But why is speaking so important? Let me explain. First, remember this. The main purpose of language is communication. We use language to say what we think, show how we feel, ask questions, tell stories, share opinions, and understand other people. And how do we do all of that? We do it by speaking. So, if language is for communication, then speaking is the most natural and useful way to practice. Think about your first language. Do you spend hours reading grammar books in your own language? Of course not. You spend most of your time talking to people. When you really think about communication, it's very simple. You listen, you speak, you answer, and you react. That's what real communication is. Now, let's go back to one of the most powerful examples, how children learn their first language. Do children start by learning grammar rules? Do they sit with a book and write long vocabulary lists? Of course not. Children learn in a much more natural way. They listen to the people around them, parents, brothers, sisters, friends. They hear the same words and sentences again and again. After some time, they start repeating those words. At first, they only say one or two simple words, and very slowly. But as they keep listening and speaking, they get better and better. They don't worry about grammar. They don't care if they make mistakes. They just keep talking. And because they keep using the language, they become fluent. This is the key. Children learn by using the language, not by studying it. The golden rule of speaking. There is something very important for you to understand. Backhand index pointing right, you learn to speak by speaking, not by studying. Let me repeat that because it's the most important message of this episode. You learn to speak by speaking. Yes, studying has its place. Studying helps you understand the rules. Reading gives you more vocabulary. Listening shows you how words are used. But only speaking helps you build real confidence, natural fluency, and the ability to respond quickly in real conversations. Think about other skills in life. Imagine learning to play the guitar. Can you learn just by reading books about music? No, you must pick up the guitar and play it. Or think about learning to drive a car. Can you become a driver just by watching YouTube videos? No, you must sit in the driver's seat, hold the wheel, and actually drive. Speaking English is exactly the same. The only way to improve is by using your mouth and your voice, not just your eyes and your brain. Why speaking works so well? When you speak, your brain works in a very special way. It starts to connect words, phrases, and grammar naturally. Instead of overthinking, you begin to use the language. The more you speak, the faster your brain finds the right words. Over time, speaking feels easier, faster, and more natural. Speaking also helps you remember words better. When you use a new word in a sentence out loud, it moves into your active vocabulary. That means you can use it when you need it. But if you only read or write the word, it often stays in your passive memory. You know it when you see it, but you can't say it when you speak. Don't let fear stop you. Many learners feel shy or afraid of speaking. They worry about mistakes. But here's the truth. Mistakes are part of learning. Every good English speaker, even native speakers, makes mistakes sometimes. So don't wait until you feel perfect, because that day may never come. Start speaking today with the English you already know. Use simple words. Use short sentences. That's how real fluency is built. Powerful practice. Even speaking to yourself is helpful. When you talk out loud in English, even if you are alone, you are training your brain, your tongue, and your voice to work together. This is powerful practice. You don't always need a partner, a class, or a teacher to speak. What you really need is the courage to try. The big lesson. So, let's sum it up. Language is for communication. Speaking is the best way to practice it. Children learn by speaking, not by studying, and you can too. You don't need perfect grammar to speak. You just need to start. The more you speak, the more fluent and confident you will become. Remember, speaking is not the final step of your English journey, it is the main part of it. If you want to be a good speaker, you must speak. There is no secret formula. The secret is simple. Just start speaking. Just speak more. The more you speak every day, the more your English will grow. And in this next part of the episode, let's talk about something very important, making mistakes. Because for many learners, the biggest reason they don't speak is not grammar, not vocabulary, but fear of mistakes. Mistakes are not bad, they are good. Let's be honest. Many English learners feel afraid when they want to speak. Maybe this sounds like you. What if I say it wrong? What if I use the wrong word? What if I make a grammar mistake? What if people laugh at me or don't understand me? So instead of speaking, you stay silent. But here's the truth. Backhand index pointing right, making mistakes is not bad. Making mistakes is good. Yes, you heard that right. Mistakes are good because they help you learn. Every mistake is like a teacher. Each time you make one, you discover something new. You learn what works and what doesn't. You remember the correct form better the next time. You grow faster than if you stayed silent. A mistake is not the end. A mistake is just one more step forward. Look at children again. Think again about how children learn their first language. They make mistakes all the time. They say funny things, use wrong words, make broken sentences. But do they stop? Do they say, "Oh no, I made a mistake, I'll never speak again"? Of course not. They keep speaking. They keep trying. And that's exactly why they improve, because they are not afraid of mistakes. It's the same for you. Communication, not perfection. When you are learning English, you are not supposed to be perfect. Perfection is not the goal. Backhand index pointing right, the goal is communication. Your job is to try, to speak, and to express yourself. Even if you make mistakes, you are still communicating. And when you make a mistake, something powerful happens in your brain. Your brain says, "That didn't sound right. Let's fix it." And then you remember the correct way much better. Example, learning through mistakes. Imagine you say, "He go to school every day." Then someone corrects you and says, small mistake. It should be, "He goes to school every day." Now, because you actually spoke and got feedback, You will remember this rule much better than if you only read it in a grammar book. Why? Because it came from real experience, not just from study. This is how true learning happens: by doing, by trying, and by correcting. Mistakes build confidence. Another important thing, making mistakes and continuing to speak helps you build confidence. You learn that mistakes are not dangerous. They are normal. They are part of the process. The more you speak and make small mistakes, the less afraid you become. And slowly, your confidence grows. What if people laugh? Some learners worry. But what if people laugh at me? Here's the truth. Most people will not laugh. In fact, many people will respect you for speaking a second language because they know it's not easy. And if someone does laugh or correct you, don't worry. Use it to learn. Smile, thank them, and keep going. Be proud of mistakes. Remember this. Backhand index pointing right: the only people who never make mistakes are the ones who never try. If you are making mistakes, it means you are trying. It means you are learning. It means you are moving forward. That's something to be proud of. You don't need perfect English to speak. What you need is brave English, English that is not afraid of being wrong. English that is natural, honest, and used every single day. Next time you feel nervous. The next time you feel nervous about speaking, remind yourself. It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes help me learn. Every mistake is one step closer to fluency. If I don't speak, I don't improve. So I will speak. Speak in class. Speak with friends. Speak to yourself. Speak into your phone. Just speak. Every single time you open your mouth, even if you make mistakes, you are getting better. The big lesson about mistakes. To sum it all up, mistakes are a natural and important part of learning. You cannot grow if you never make mistakes. Every mistake helps your brain learn and improve. Confidence doesn't come from being perfect. Confidence comes from speaking. So even if you are not perfect, be proud of your effort. Don't wait until you feel ready. Backhand index pointing right, just speak. Creating your English environment. Now, in the next part of this episode, let's talk about something many learners worry about. How to create your own English-speaking environment. Maybe you don't live in an English-speaking country. Maybe you don't have English-speaking friends. But don't worry. You can still surround yourself with English so that speaking becomes a natural part of your daily life. How to start speaking today. Now that you understand why speaking is so important and why mistakes are actually good, you might be asking yourself, okay, but how do I start speaking today? I don't live in an English-speaking country. I don't have anyone to practice with. What can I do? Great question. And here's the good news. Backhand index pointing right, you don't need the perfect situation or the perfect partner to start. You can begin practicing English today, right now, even if you are completely alone. Let's go through some simple but powerful methods you can use. 1. Talk to yourself in English. This is one of the easiest and most effective methods. Yes, really, you can talk to yourself in English. Do it at home, in your room, or even when you are walking. Describe what you are doing, what you see, what you feel. For example, if you are cooking, now I'm cutting vegetables, / I need to boil the water. If you are walking, the sun is bright today, / I see a dog running. At first, it might feel strange, but it really works. When you talk to yourself, you are practicing vocabulary, grammar, fluency, all at the same time. You also train your brain to form sentences more quickly, which makes real conversations easier. 2. Find a speaking partner. Another great way is to find someone to practice with. Your partner does not need to be a native speaker. They don't even need to speak perfect English. You just need someone who also wants to practice. Today, it's easy to find partners. Language exchange apps, Facebook or Telegram groups, online study communities. You can even set up weekly speaking calls on Zoom or Skype. Talking with another learner regularly helps your speaking improve fast. It's also fun because you share the journey together. 3. Use voice messages. If you are not ready for live conversations, start with voice messages. This is like a bridge between talking to yourself and speaking live with someone. For example, on WhatsApp, Telegram, or other apps, record short messages in English. Say, "Good morning. Today I went shopping. This is what I think about this topic." Voice messages are very powerful because you get time to think before speaking. You practice pronunciation and sentence building. The other person can listen and reply later, so there's less pressure. It's low stress, but very effective. 4. Shadowing technique. Another excellent method is called shadowing. This means listening to a native speaker, maybe in a video, podcast, or movie, and then repeating what they say immediately, almost like an echo. When you shadow, you copy their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. It's like training your mouth and your ears at the same time. This technique is especially powerful for improving pronunciation, speed, natural speaking style. Shadowing technique. This means listening to someone speaking English, maybe from a video, podcast, or audiobook, and repeating what they say right after or even at the same time. You copy their pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. It's like becoming their shadow. This helps you train your mouth and ears to sound more natural and fluent. Start with short sentences. Pause and repeat. If it feels too fast, slow down the audio. With time, your pronunciation and fluency will improve a lot. You can practice with YouTube videos, audiobooks, or even podcasts like this one. Recording your voice. Here's another powerful tip. Record your voice and listen to it. Many learners avoid this because they don't like how they sound. But this is one of the best ways to improve. When you record yourself, you become more aware of how you speak. You notice your pronunciation, your speed, your grammar. You can even compare your speaking with a native speaker and see exactly what to work on. Don't be afraid to hear your own voice. It's not a mistake, it's your learning tool. You can record a short story, your opinion about a topic, or even a diary entry in English. Do this once a day and you'll see big progress. Active practice versus passive learning. All of these methods are active practice. You're not just listening or reading. You're using the language. And that's how fluency is built. By using English regularly in real life, not just by studying rules. So today, I invite you to choose one method and start. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't wait until you feel ready. Backhand index pointing right, you're ready now. Speak to yourself. Record your voice. Send a voice message. Start shadowing your favorite English speaker. These may feel like small steps, but small steps lead to big changes. You don't need a perfect environment. You can create your own English world right where you are. Even just 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference. Simple daily practice ideas. Many learners ask me, how can I practice speaking English every day? They know speaking is important. They want to improve. But they don't always know what to say, how to begin, or how to keep going. If that sounds like you, don't worry. I've got you covered. Here are some simple daily speaking ideas you can start using today, even if you're alone. 1. Speak about your day. One of the most powerful habits is this. Backhand index pointing right, speak about your day for just 5 minutes every day. Choose a time, maybe in the morning or before bed, and talk out loud about your day. Say what you did, how you felt, what you liked, what was difficult. You don't need to be perfect. Just speak. For example, today I woke up at 7 a.m. I made coffee. Then I went to work. My boss gave me a new task. I felt a little nervous, but I tried my best. This is real-life speaking. It helps you remember useful words and phrases. It also connects your English with your real world, one of the best ways to grow fluency. 2. Describe the things around you. Look around your room. What do you see? Try to describe everything in English. For example, there is a big wooden table in front of me. On the table, I see my laptop and a notebook. The window is open, and I can hear birds outside. This trains your vocabulary and helps you practice thinking in English about everyday objects. Motivation and final advice. Now that you know how to practice speaking every day, let's talk about something just as important: staying consistent and motivated. Because here's the truth. It's easy to start, but it's not always easy to continue. Some days you'll feel excited and motivated. Other days you'll feel tired, busy, or maybe even frustrated. That's normal. Every learner feels this way. So how can you keep going even on the hard days? 1. Focus on small steps, not big goals. Don't pressure yourself to speak perfectly in 3 months. Instead, focus on speaking just 5 to 10 minutes a day. Small steps done every day lead to big results. It's better to practice a little every day than a lot once in a while. 2. Track your progress. Keep a simple journal or voice diary. Every week, record a short message in English. Later, listen again. You'll notice how much better you sound. This will motivate you because you'll see your own growth. 3. Reward yourself. Learning English is a long journey. Celebrate your small wins. Did you speak English for 7 days in a row? Reward yourself. Did you use a new word correctly in conversation? Smile and be proud. Positive rewards make the habit stronger. 4. Remember your why. Why are you learning English? Is it for travel, your job, studies, or maybe to connect with people around the world? Write your reason down. Whenever you feel tired, read it again. Your why will give you energy to keep going. 5. Be kind to yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't feel bad if you make mistakes or if your progress feels slow. Every time you speak, you are improving. Progress is progress, no matter how small. Final words. So here's my final advice. Backhand index pointing right, don't wait. Don't be afraid. Just speak. Speak a little every day. Be proud of your mistakes. Celebrate your progress. If you keep going, I promise you one day, you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come. English will no longer feel like a school subject. It will become a part of your life, a tool you use to connect, to share, and to grow. You have everything you need right now to succeed. All you have to do is begin and keep going. So, take a deep breath, smile, and say something in English right now. That's your first step toward fluency. Sparkles, and that's the end of this episode. You've learned why speaking is the key to fluency, why mistakes are your best teachers, how to create your own English-speaking environment, and how to stay consistent and motivated on your journey. Now it's your turn. Go and practice. Your future confident, fluent self is waiting. Polished podcast closing. Now that you've learned some practical tips to start speaking English every day, let's talk about motivation and why consistency matters so much. Learning a language can sometimes feel like a long journey. But remember, small steps every day lead to big progress. That's why daily speaking practice is so powerful. First, make it a habit. Even just 5 minutes of speaking every day can make a huge difference over time. You don't need hours, and you don't need the perfect moment. Just a few minutes every day builds momentum, and that momentum leads to success. And please don't wait until you feel perfect to speak. Perfection is not the goal, communication is. Mistakes are not bad, they're proof that you're learning, trying, and improving. Every mistake you make is one step closer to fluency. Speaking also builds confidence. At first, you may feel shy or nervous. That's completely normal. But the more you speak, the more natural and comfortable it becomes. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you create through practice. So don't compare yourself to others. Don't wait for the right time or the perfect conditions. Start today. Speak today. And be proud of every step you take. I encourage you to make speaking part of your daily routine, Whether it's talking to yourself, recording your voice, finding a partner, or using any of the other methods we discussed. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, and enjoy the journey. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Fluent English Journey. I hope you feel inspired and motivated to start speaking every day. Remember, the key to improvement is practice. Start small, stay consistent, and you'll see big changes in your speaking skills. Keep going, keep practicing, and soon you'll look back and realize just how far you've come. You're doing great, and I believe in you. Final outro script refined. Now, I have a little challenge for you. Pick just one speaking tip from today's episode and try it right now. Maybe you'll talk about your day, describe something around you, or ask and answer your own questions. Whatever you choose, just start speaking. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, just speak. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend who's also learning English. The more people we can inspire, the better. You can share the podcast on social media or simply send the link to someone who might enjoy it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Fluent English Journey. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll always have fresh tips and ideas to help you improve your English. Thank you so much for listening. Keep practicing. Stay motivated. And remember, you can do this.